In knitting, there's the straight needles and the circular needles. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to do the long tail cast on normally used for the circular needles. So if you are interested, please subscribe, turn on your post notifications so that you don't miss out on any of my crochet and knitted tutorials. Thank you so much for clicking this video. As I told you from the intro of the video, we'll be doing the long tail cast on, which is normally used with circular knitting needles. Okay, so I have the regular cast on used with the straight needles, and you can click the I above to access the tutorial, or you can check the description for the direct link. Okay, so now I'm going to do a detailed tutorial and explain it into it. So first of all, you have to take your yarn, okay, and fold it into two. The long tail cast on, you are using 2 loops. Okay, so normally I fold up to about 8 inch. I'm going to cast on a total of 50 stitch, so you are just going to fold, as you can see, into 2 so that the loops become 2 like this, just you are seeing, and then you make a slip knot, which is the very first basic step, and a slip knot is also found in crocheting. So to make a slip knot, you wrap the yarn around your finger just like that, create this loop which you are going to insert your needle. You just take one side of the needle. Okay, so this is how to make a slip knot again, if in case you didn't get the first one. So make sure you create a loop, insert your hook, sorry, I'm always saying hook, your needle in the space, then you tighten up to close up, and then get ready for your basic step of casting on. Okay, so for the long tail cast on, you are working with your thumb and your index finger, unlike the regular cast on where we worked with only our index finger. So you are going to grab the 2 strands. Okay, you are always going to have 2 strands. As I told you, you fold it into 2 with 7 inch before you are going to cast on. So you hold the index finger, one side of the yarn with the index finger and one with the thumb. Okay, so you are supposed to hold it in place like this, and you cross your thumb in this direction. You insert your needle across underneath your thumb where you crossed, and pull the loop from where the index finger was. Okay, just take a look again. So yes, this is how to cast on with the long tail. This is the very first step. Make sure you are holding both strands in place with your thumb and index finger. Cross your index finger. Okay, insert your needle. When you cross it this way, let me show you. Okay, so as I told you, you cross it this way. Okay, insert your needle underneath. Okay, so where the first loop is, you are going to insert across underneath. When you insert, you are going to take the strand you were holding with your index finger with the needle. Okay, so you pass it across beneath, and then you release the loop. So you just release the loop, and then you tighten up so that it fits the needle. So that's how to do the long tail cast on. Okay, so as I told you, you cross your thumb just like this. You insert your needle across where you crossed your thumb, and then you take the loop that was you held with your index finger, and then you tighten up to close up just to fit the needle. Okay, that's how to do the long tail cast on. So I'm going to cast on a total of 50. I'm initially planning to make a skirt. Okay, so I'll be sharing some patterns. That's why I want to do this for absolute beginners, because I know a lot of my audience do not knit. Okay, so I'm doing it for absolute beginners so that you get how to long tail cast on. And as I said, there are more knitting tutorials coming. Okay, so all you have to do is to make sure that you are holding it in place. Okay, and you make sure that it fits the needle. As you are going, you make sure that you scooch it down so that the pointed part gets more room for you to cast on your stitches. Okay, so as I told you, use your thumb and the index finger, holding the 2 loops in place in that direction I just shown you. You are going to insert your needle across, pull the one you were holding with your index finger, and release to fit the needle. That is how to do the long tail cast on. And as I told you, this tutorial is going to be detailed, so if you are still confused, you just have to observe for some few minutes as I do the slow-mo version and other things that can help you grasp this method. Okay, It's very easy, okay? Don't let anyone discourage you in knitting. It's very easy. If you are practicing, it becomes more nicer and even addictive as time goes by. Okay, so just make sure that your thumb and your index finger are holding it in place, and you are doing your regular casting on, which is the long tail cast on, especially for those who want to work in rounds. So what I love about this circular needles is that you can work both in straight sections and in rounds. Okay, so I'm planning to make a skirt, and with that I'm doing the front, and I'm not working in rounds, I'm working it in front and back panel, which means I'm working it in straight needles, even using the circular needles. Okay, it doesn't really matter. All you have to do is to make sure that you have cast on the right amount of stitches in order to fit your preference. So a short disclaimer for you is that you must make sure that the tail is long enough. You see, I folded it into two. As I told you, I did 7-inch, and every cast on takes about half an inch. Okay, so it's up to you. It depends on the number you are casting on. I was casting on 50. Okay, so I knew how to make my long tail. So as I told you, each casting on takes half an inch, so you can use that as a measurement procedure to know the number, or to know how long you have to make your tail or your yarn strand for the casting on. So if you are able to grasp this, you should be fine, and it doesn't matter if there is excess. It's better for there to be excess for the other strand than to let it be too short and you have to unravel and start all over again. So that's how I basically, these are some techniques that I've learned in the field of knitting, and I think this is helpful. Okay, I know this is helpful, and I know a lot of you guys might have been crocheting before venturing into knitting. Knitting is very unique and you should try it. So I hope this tutorial is very beginner friendly, because I try to break it down for you. Or if you want to learn how to knit, there's several tutorials that will be linked in the description for absolute beginners that you can try on. But make sure that when you are done knitting, it's straight. Okay, so the edges are facing directly you. Okay, so that's what I just shown you. Make sure that the edges are facing and they are straight, or else when you are knitting in rounds it becomes twisted. Okay, so yes, these are some techniques. This is the knitted skirt I'm working on. I hope I'll be done very soon to show you my finished project. So until next time, stay safe and keep watching my videos. Bye bye.